We got a special pre-Thanksgiving edition of Sooner Intel right now. Good evening. Welcome back to Sooner Intel. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, along with my co-host, Kchris Griffin from the Horns Down podcast, Mr. Mason, Chris Mason from Sooners 360. If you love college football, especially the Sooners, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash the red subscriber button on all 3 channels, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell. You don't miss one moment of Sooners Intel. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Happy Flipmas. Good stuff, man. A little Flipmas Day stuff with Hatton. Glad to hear that and see that. You know, couldn't happen to a better bunch of Aggies. But we got business to take care of this week. Obviously, you got some turkey eating to do, but after that, we've got some business to handle with LSU in the Palace on Saturday with a chance to go to the college football playoff and really piss off all of Austin. And it's good stuff, right?
Jason, real quick, I just want to say, hey, what Jason's leading off with, just talking about the flipping stuff. Go check out the pod that Chris Mason and I literally just finished. So we just did a recruiting live. We always do those at 8:00 on Monday mornings. So definitely go check that out. That was
Monday evenings.
Monday evenings, yeah. So that was probably about like a 30-minute pod or so. So definitely go check that out when you get a chance. But as Jason said, this podcast is previewing LSU. I'll let you guys go first. I definitely got my thoughts. I've been watching a lot of the highlights. I obviously watched some of those games live, but watching the highlights back just to kind of refresh my memory. So I definitely got a bunch of things to say. But man, it's a big game, man. Sucks that it's not a night game. Would love to see that fourth quarter, many men play. I love to hear that and see that with the fireworks, all the rest of the stuff. I was completely thrown off when I said, "Really, they played that?" In the really?
I was thrown off with it too. I thought that's a little, yeah.
Is it a little dark?
It's a little. Oh no! It's hey.
Look, I'm asking you a question. I know nothing about the song. That is not my.
Hey,
That's not my.
the song is lit. Has always been lit. That's from a
Okay,
classic.
all right, all right.
I love the song, but it's pretty.
It was out there. It was like, oh, okay, this is the type of time we are. We on that type of time. Okay, yeah, hard to kill. All the rest of that stuff. Like, let's live and die
All
by
right,
it.
I'm fine with it. Look, if the players love it, if the players love it, I'm fine with that, man.
Yeah.
The crowd will get into it. Well, if we keep winning at home, the crowd will get into it, and it'll be a tradition. So
yeah.
Well, and I think there's a number. There's a number of ways that you could go with it. I wouldn't, but yeah, I mean, if they liked it, I'm cool with it. I don't care.
If it gets them pumped up,
listen, I'll tell you this: having gone to Alabama and seen everything that they did in the second half over there with the light show that they did with the phones, then they did, of course. Obviously, they have Dixieland Delight. That it gets freaking. It gets going in that place, and it was unbelievable atmosphere all the way around from before the game, all the way through it. Definitely could, and you heard Kobe McKenzie even saying that they need to upgrade our in-game experience just a little bit. So it would be cool, man. It's pretty good stuff.
All right, do you care if I go with some quick LSU thoughts? Because I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but to me, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a shutout. LSU walks in with a poor offensive line, a scheme that has not been working all year. OU just held one of the top rushing attacks in the country to 6 points. And LSU can't run the ball. They can't consistently throw the ball. They can't consistently block anyone. Their defense is good. They got some good guys on their front four. None of them I think could start for OU, but they do have some good guys. But overall, I think this is a game that OU, the coaching staff, whatever mess is going on there as well. I don't know how motivated or how if OU starts hitting some guys in the mouth, I'm not sure how motivated LSU is going to be to put out a top performance. But that's my sort of recruitnik view of this. They don't look very good to me on offense, and I think they could struggle to really get anything going and could set OU up with some short fields and some turnovers. I know Van Buren's more mobile than Nussmeier. That's not saying a whole lot, but he's also vastly less experienced in terms of. I liked him as a guy coming out of high school, and he did some okay things for Mississippi State last year, but he hasn't played a bunch this year. And I think LSU's coming in. LSU's coming in with not what even. It's not the best version of LSU this year coming in. They're even down from where their high point was this year. So leave it over to you guys.
Jason, if you don't mind, I definitely got some notes. So this is what I'll say. So defensively against him, keep doing what you're doing. Pressure and change the picture on him. Don't let him sit back there and get comfortable. That offensive line, you should be able to get pressure. Saw Arkansas get pressure. I saw them get a sack with one of their edge guys. It was a play of beauty. Thing with Van Buren, again, pressure, change the picture on him. He makes timely plays with his legs and his arm. With his legs, sometimes those are just those are not design runs. Those are just him basically clearing people out on one side and being able to run a little bit of bootleg. They like to run bootleg with him. They like to run a lot of play action. He's a zone killer. I will say that he will make some plays that you say, wow, like just, putting the ball there. Wouldn't have thought that you would have thrown it there, but you did. And that was a big play. So he's definitely a zone killer. He loves zone. With the play action that they do, what's funny, Chris Mason, they don't really run a lot of wide receiver screens that I've saw these last 3 games with him. They run their screens with their running backs, but it's off of play action. It's a play action play. You think they're going deep, and there it goes right there it goes right there to the running back. Right, they just dump it off to Durham or Barry on those plays, and they end up picking up a lot of yards. So it's stuff that you have to look out for. I can't name the kid right now, but number 8, who is one of their other quarterbacks, they will put him in there, line him up as a wide receiver, line him up as a running back. They'll run trick plays. They'll run all types of stuff with him because obviously he was one of their, I think he was a converted. He was a high school quarterback. I forget what position he was playing, and they converted him back to quarterback recently. But I've seen them run trick plays and different things like that. So you just have to be sound defensively.
Is it Chris Hilton?
Yeah. I think it's number 8, right?
Yeah, that's what their stuff is saying. Yeah.
Number 14, the green kid, he's a dude. You have to limit the opportunities that he has. He's not necessarily stretching the field, but he's just a big target, especially around that goal line. They like to just, basically just throw some goal balls to him, some fades. Now, offensively, this is the interesting part. And I tried to watch the offense not only through my eyes, but also kind of taking in what Jason was saying this past week, just looking through his lens. And I said to myself, damn, I think some of the things that we try, or I wouldn't even say like to do, I would say try to do, we can do against them. If X-Rob is healthy, if Blaylock is healthy, you can run on this defense. You can gut them. That front, I mean, when they get into the box, they like to they'll put anywhere from 6 to 7 guys in the box. The defensive line is pretty salty. The linebackers definitely pretty salty. But you can run on them, a lot of inside run. It's not even really trying to stretch them out. It's just really running up the middle, running up the gut. If you can run through trash, and open up lanes, there will be a lot of running lanes for guys like Mateer, guys like X-Rob, Blaylock, all of them. So that's something that you definitely got to something you definitely got to do. Spread them out. Spread them out when you want to run the ball. That's what I would do because they love that congested stuff. I don't think that their secondary is great, but they're really not any different than what we faced these past couple of
Their
weeks.
secondary is pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
I was
pretty
going to
good.
say they're athletic and they're really opportunistic. I don't think they got guys that just want to come down there and try to tackle and get ugly like that. But they're physical on the outside and they love to be. They're really handsy. They're really handsy on that. You would say a lot of PI calls, but we don't get those right. But at the end of the day, when I watch them, I'm like, there's places you can attack, but you have to commit to the run. You have to set things up and you have to find consistency. So I'm not going to go into that whole spiel on the offense. It kind of is what it is right now. Regardless, though, I like the matchup. I think you're going to be able to get off the field on third down on defense an awful lot. Um, I know, just kind of foreshadowing my prediction, in-game predictions, Jason and Chris Mason. I predicted us having a possibly having a defensive touchdown, simply because I think that with that offensive line and just some of the things I saw from some of the other teams that they played that were putting pressure on him, I'm not sure if we don't get force a fumble on Van Buren during this game. I think he has a chance to probably throw for some yards, especially early on when we're trying to figure out what he's doing. But I think as the game settles in, I think that we should be able to do what we need to do to secure the win. But again, it's going to be a good matchup. They have just as much talent as anybody that we faced.
Absolutely.
The season has not went the way they wanted it to go, but at the same time, they don't have anything to lose, and they would love to play spoilers. So guys just got to go out there and get it done. Jason?
Yeah, I think that everything that you guys said was correct. I think that their defense is definitely what they hang their hat on this year. Their offense has been basically putrid in every way. And the worst part about what they do is running the ball. Now, I will say that if you're expecting Van Buren, and that's who I expect to be playing, that's the one kryptonite that any defense has, is a guy that can throw and run. So, that's where, if I have any concern, it would be that. But I think the main thing that you have to do in this situation, I think they're going to come out and try to punch you in the mouth right away. I think you got to punch first. You need to deliver a blow early. They're not going to want to stick with it. I think that as tough as this season has been, now the one concern that I would have is that, will they have an announcement of Lane Kiffin being their next head coach by that morning? Possibly that they could, right? That could be one of those things that could kind of give them a little bit of a boost or something. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I think that if you go out there and you punch them early and you're able to put some points on the board early, whether that be from a defensive touchdown or something like that, they probably fold up like a lawn chair. You know what I mean? And I just think that that's where it's at. That being said, you got to remember that Oklahoma's yet to beat this team ever. They in their few matchups that they've had, they've gotten the bad end of it. And so, to me, there's a little bit of a mental hump that you got to get over if you're Oklahoma in that aspect of it. And then the other part is, can you trust this offense to go out there and put some points on the board and support the defense the way that you'd like to see them do that? I think it's a good opportunity for OU to get out there and do something like that heading into a playoff run. Because I mean, like I said, I don't see a long playoff run if you don't find a way to support it, if you don't find a way to support the defense in that way. So that's just, again, we don't have to get deep into that. I just think that this is an opportunity for you to go out, change things as far as the narrative goes when it's with LSU, pop them in the mouth, and get it, and make it a short day, man. Make it a short day.
I mean, LSU's very talented, right? We know that. We know the kids they recruit. We recruit them. But the quit exists in this team. We've seen it several times. These guys are not hard to kill. They're not road dogs. They're none of these things. They folded against A&M completely. Just quit.
No No doubt.
So I think Jason, you're right that there's, everyone. It's like the old Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody has a game plan until you get smashed in the mouth. This is a little bit like I think LSU. LSU's sort of like, yeah, we're going to go in there and take OU's playoff lives away from them, and then Taylor Wine blows up Michael Van Buren on an edge rush because their O line is not good, and all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe we're not so motivated to do this for 55 minutes. But yeah, I think this is. I think you guys have accurately put the label on it. They are good defensively. I think their cornerback is high on draft boards, right? I think that one cornerback they have is high on draft boards.
Yeah.
And they've got talent, and they've got some talent, but they have underachieved almost. When the Clemson win is the highlight of their season, and the Florida win is the highlight, and the 5 turnover performance by Lagway for the Florida win is the highlight of their season. The rest of it has been basically, as you said, putrid and just crap.
Yeah, and they still only had 20 points in that game. I mean, that's how bad their offense has been. I mean, we're talking about what the way the OU's offense has played the second half of the season, and I mean, they've been like this the entire season. That was week 2 or 3 or something like that, and they immediately, they in the swamp, and they had five takeaways.
I mean, they're, Nussmeier's been hurt, right? But I mean, that's maybe derailed their season.
Also out. I saw people asking that. I think he's going to be out. He hasn't played the last couple of games, I think, and he got banged up pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it looked like it was. The reports I was reading, doubtful. Doubtful is the word right now.
For Nussmeier,
he progresses. Yeah,
I don't see him. I think he's made a business decision. I think he's made a business decision, and and we're not going to see him.
He'd be just the kind, though. He loves LSU. I mean, that's
he does. I mean, but I think he's very much and I don't blame him making it.
I think you're worse off if Van Buren plays. I'll just be honest with you. I
mean, Nussmeier being hurt and without O line is a sitting duck.
Right. Van Buren can get away from the rush. You know what I mean? He's got speed. Yeah. He's been, he played really good against a tough Georgia defense a year ago. When he was at Mississippi State, he gave them all they wanted. So if I'm just looking at, do I think he's a better player than Nuss overall? No, but I think that he's the kind of guy that could. He could hurt you a little bit with his legs and being able to do what he can.
Yeah, just making shit up and making him move in the chains.
So the whole thing is again with Van Buren. Van Buren will a lot of the plays that now don't get me wrong, they run a ton of bootleg for him. That he is out of there. He's moving that pocket.
Yes.
But with him, sometimes they'll clear out. They'll run some plays that intentionally clear out stuff just to give him a lane on the outside, and he'll go and pick up. He's a smart guy. Thing is, though, is against OU, again, they like to run a lot of bootleg, like to run a lot of play action as well. And when they run play action, they like to run those little screens for the running backs. It's not the wide receivers; it's for the running backs. They try to suck you in and try to get you and kind of get you off base.
Frank Wilson, it's Les Miles kind of stuff that they like to do.
Yeah. So they're going to try to get the ball out of his hands very quickly, especially with this defensive line. So that's something that people need to be aware of. It's going to be a second before they finally, try to slow down. Their wide receivers, they're don't let them get confidence. That's really what it is. Kill the confidence early. Anytime that, and I hate to say it, I hate to do it because, but it's got to be said. Anytime Bauer Sharp gets the ball, knock the hell out of him. Ball goes.
Because he'll fumble.
I don't want to be that guy, Jason, but I'm just saying,
Poor Nick Anderson's out for the year, right?
We talked a lot of shit about Jackson Arnold. He was part of the problem there too. So
yeah,
I'm good with that. No. All right, so we've got guys. Make sure you hit that like button. On all 3 channels. We're out here putting this out early for you guys to be able to get get your fix in before Thanksgiving. So make sure you guys hit that like button on all 3 channels, become a subscriber. We're just about 150 away from 5,000. So I'd love to bump that up to that 5,000 mark. It'd be great. Make sure you hit that like button on all 3 channels though and become a subscriber. Appreciate it. All right. Gabe said X injured his other leg against Mizzou. Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be the question that I have is what are we doing running back wise this week? I mean, I heard Coach Venables on with Skip Bayless and Gerald McCoy. He was on with those 2 guys and he talked about that, that he was ready to play. I figured that was probably bullshit. But in view of the fact that they're having some issues with injuries, is there an opportunity that Jay Knott gets in?
I would say no. I mean,
so.
should he? Should he? Yes, but I just think this is.
Is he trying to? He's trying to redshirt, and he's got one more appearance left. Is that right?
I don't think he can redshirt. He's played over 4 games.
I think he's played over 4 games.
Yeah, I think he's just sort of like, yeah, I'm good, guys. I'll just see you at the combine if he even gets an invite. It's a bad look.
It's a bad look for him. Yeah,
I don't. I mean, it's never made any sense whatsoever, really, to be honest.
What about Taylor Tatum though? Have you heard anything about him at all?
No, I mean he's finally off the injury reports, and he's been hurt all year. Andy Bass, I think, is technically ready to help if you wanted to go there.
Really?
I
hadn't
believe
heard
so.
that name in a while. Somebody asked me about him the other day, and I was like, "No, I don't think he's good."
I mean, I'm still working with my special ops team to do a Sorchak swap and just get Gavin back get Gavin into Gabe's uniform for a game just to help us. He's not doing anything.
Why haven't we seen any Gabe? Why haven't we not seen?
I think
Gabe?
I mean, he's a walk-on. I'm not sure how talented he is, but I mean, it's all. I mean, as you guys have said, it's all hands on deck. So I think you see who's in the room and who can play. So I mean, I think the player that would make the most sense from a rational perspective would be, is Taylor Tatum ready to play? Can he help a little bit? Javante's sitting out for whatever his reasons are. I think it's kind of, I don't get it, but okay, I'm not him. I'm sure in his mind this is making sense. I don't know where. I don't think it will play out how he wants, and obviously Ott is sort of, I don't know. It's sort of like a sit-in strike. I'm not going to practice and you're not going to pretend to play me. So some sort of situation along those lines, which isn't obviously endearing him to anybody on the OU staff.
I'm sure he got paid, but
yeah, I'm sure he's doing whatever he needs to do to get paid. It's sort of like, to use a very, very old reference. It's sort of like the old Soviet Union. You'll pretend to pay us and we'll pretend to work. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't have any real details on that. No one really seems to have anything. But yeah, I think it would be nice if we could see a third running back help out Blaylock and Robinson and make some plays.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think up until when he got the concussion last year, Taylor Tatum had been pretty good. It was after the concussion that you started seeing the fumble issues and some of that stuff rear its ugly head. I think so.
Yeah,
and the way you go back and watch that exchange, where he got it on the first one, he's stumbling back to the huddle, and then they give him the ball again, and he gets popped again in it. So, I mean, I hate to laugh about it, but I mean, because it's not really a laughing matter. But it's like, man, I mean,
yeah, I
mean, what a way to go, and he hadn't really been the same.
No, and he was injured over. You don't really get good injury details in spring. It's like we didn't really know how injured X-Rob was, right? Everyone's like, "Why is X-Rob? Why is X-Rob?" And then all of a sudden, it's
they keep it quiet. That's something that BV doesn't. He doesn't.
Exactly. He's from the Bob. He's from the Bob.
tree of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
the Bob
right,
Schneider, the Schneider school of
I was going to say it probably goes back to Schneider, doesn't it?
yeah. So it does. So we never knew how hurt he was. So we've never really known, like, is Tatum unmotivated, or is he hurt, or is he both? And from DeMarco's brief comments on the topic, because he's not really being asked about him that much, he said it's just I'm just waiting for Tatum to get some injury luck. It just like I can't, every time he gets right, he gets hurt again, and I can't get him on the field. Is to paraphrase what DeMarco said on one of the coaches' shows. So it doesn't sound like he's in the, and I'm not accusing anybody of this word, but I don't know what other term to use it. It doesn't sound like he's in the malingering bucket that Ott is in. I don't know. I don't know Ott. I don't know his situation. I don't know what's going on. I just don't have another word that really fits it. You know what I mean? That's kind of, that malingering has a lot of negative connotations to it, but I just don't have another word that really fits it, Jason.
No, I think that's about right. That sounds about right to me. Is laziness and not playing. You've heard that all the way back. It was whispers earlier about it in the in fall camp that he was ready. They even gave him an extra week, and then he still didn't want to come back. And that kind of got him in the doghouse everywhere. I mean, and then whenever you don't show up to play in the first few weeks of the season, and all this money's been paid to him, I mean,
and he whiffs on a couple of blocks and gets guys blown up and killed.
Correct.
I don't imagine he's very popular in the locker room either. Right. And we could say many things about the offense, and we have. And I think that they're mostly on target, but they don't quit, right? They're working. The level of effort is out there, right? They may not be executing. It may not be what we want it to be, but it doesn't look like the guys are just sort of going through the motions and have quit. They're playing hard, and so you can't just throw Ott out there if he's just not practicing hard, because that kind of message goes to the rest of the team, right? And you've got such a good chemistry and culture thing going right now, right? That even with the offense struggling as badly it is, that the team seems to have, some real chemistry going right now. But yeah. So Andy Bass, for those who don't know, is from Heritage Hall, Oklahoma City Heritage Hall, and he is 5'11", 200-pound guy. He was a preferred walk-on, but he could have easily been a scholarship player. And I believe in the state championship, he blew his knee out. Then he rehabbed it, was ready to play, and then he blew his other knee out. Well, now he's rehabbed again, and he's apparently ready to play. So I don't know what he's got left in the tank. I don't know how he's been practicing. I just saw something on Twitter that said, I think for the Missouri game, that he was dressed out and warming up, and I think someone was like, "Oh, wow, Andy Bass is warming up," because we've just never really seen it. So I don't know that there's some Rudy miracle out there for OU, but I mean, we're in the as we've said about on the calls, we're in the margins here. We'll take whatever extra MPH we can get on offense from whatever source. Yeah, from whatever source we can get it, right? Yeah. We'll take whatever MPH we can get from whatever corner it can come from.
Yeah, and I feel like if you going into this, if you can get into the playoffs, like you said, you're going to have 3 weeks off. So you've got time to get these guys kind of
get their
back on track, a little healthier with the running backs, a little healthier on the offensive line. And hopefully, maybe a little change in scheme a little bit as to
you
what
get a chance maybe to retool. You can't retooling on the fly. I think so difficult week over week.
Right.
But with a 3-week time off, you've got some time.
Sure.
I think that's
fair.
It's
just reps. It's just reps, man. And there's, and I would tell you that, like, if you go back and you do self scouting, and somebody said it earlier in the chat that you haven't seen it much in the. When they went to 5 wide stuff and ran out of the 5 wide, it was successful. 4 and 5 wide, where they're spreading it out and doing that kind of stuff. That's where I would look at, hey, you got an opportunity to kind of go and look at that and do some of those things that worked instead of banging your head against the wall with an RPO that, I heard, Teddy talking about that they should fire it into the sun, the RPO into the sun. So it was, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, he's been saying that for 4 years. He's been saying that for 4 years. So he's not saying he's wrong, but he wanted to do that in 2023.
It had to be successful was the point he was making.
Yeah. He's not wrong about that, but he's been saying that since 2022. So
I think it's a bad offense too. I don't love it. It doesn't promote your linemen firing off the ball and dictating the pace of the game or the and the physicality of the game either, for that matter. I'd love it if they would just line up and go. If they're going to run the ball, and who gives a shit if they know it's coming? They know what's coming right now. I think, you know what I mean. I can tell you what's coming looking at the shit. You know what I mean. So I feel like line up, and even if they know what's coming, if it's something that mano a mano, let's see who wins. Okay, cool.
I just think that just go back to the South Carolina performance, man. Just everything that you called that day, just it flowed really well. And that was
when they spread it out. That was that one day, yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, that was probably the most extensive complimentary football that we've seen over these past couple of weeks. We've seen it in spurts, right? We've seen it in spurts. Let's be real. But that right there felt like, hey, you got probably about 2.5, 3 good quarters. Damn near close to 3 good quarters of just like, hey, this is complimentary football. 26-7, offense is able to move the football. Obviously, they're benefiting off of the defense with field position, different things like that. They're working a short field. They're getting it. They're going. That felt good. But, I mean, that's just what it is. But I think that if you have a plan, obviously – for me, I think it's one of those things where, hey, you felt like, hey, we can air the ball out against Missouri. It just didn't work. You went away from it, and then we saw kind of what the end result is. But I still say I think that a couple of those calls go our way that loosens up that defense, that secondary a little bit, but they let them play. I say they as the refs. I was ready to go up there at halftime. I was like, these refs are terrible. But regardless, though, that should still not prevent you from accomplishing what you need to. But, hey, look, you got your guys. You got your guys back. You got Giovanni back as healthy as he could potentially possibly be. Keontez is back now. Jermichael Carter seems like he's in a good rhythm. Got to get a little bit more from Burks, but Burks is out there. He's active early on. Then you got Satania. Satania's balling out. I mean, he's been a blessing in disguise. So I think that you have your guys, but,
that guy gets the opening. He out.
Yeah.
Speed's real.
Speed. And I was just like, hey, why? Where was this play? We always come out there with like 2 or 3 plays. I'm like, I don't think we've ran this all year. Where is
crossing routes? Combo routes and crossing routes. You see it once, it works, and then you don't see it again. It's like, bro, you have two markers. You're fucking marking the wrong ones, the wrong color. I think
I can't
go back.
Guys, the touchdown play is stuck between some other pages in the playbook, and it's just stuck. Yeah. And he's able to unpeel it and find it every once in a while, and then he moves stuff again, and it gets stuck, and it hides.
That was a beautiful trail.
Hold the touchdown play again, right?
But that's the whole thing is that those are things that you want to build off of. But again, you got to get to stuff like that because those are the things that stress the defense. I was like, where's this formation? Where's this formation been? Those are different things that we can do because we have guys, maybe they're not necessarily getting the separation, but when you put them in formations like that, we have guys that are, I feel like they do have some route trees. We have good pass catchers. You just have to put them in a situation and go out there and do what they need to do. But I just don't think that
it's not a lack. Yeah. I think you haven't been seeing them and putting them in position to. Well, and I also think that some of the reads, I don't see John Machir getting past his second progression. Well, he just does it very. You got a guy wide open. Maybe you need to move the progressions around a little bit and help him out.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
buckle. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there. I think I think it's just one of those things where I know for me, if I'm tired of anything with the offense, it's just trying to make myself believe that, hey, the 12th game of the season against LSU, knowing that they could put that, and I'm not saying that he's a world beater, but that 6'5" corner that they have on Burks, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna line him up and say, yeah, Burks can beat this guy down the field. I just don't know because I haven't seen it. So
Right.
it's one of those things where when you go back to that tight formation, that bunch formation, I love bunch formation. I love bunch formation. I
I'd
love
love
it.
to see. I'd love to see Burks going down the field more than I like him catching it over the middle because he seems to run into the first defender no matter
That's
what.
true. That's true.
So run his ass out there and let him get behind him. And let's see what happens then.
I just think that making the that play right there, right? You expose the defense because you're exposing what the coverage is because they're having to figure out. Obviously, they weren't running the zone. There was a man, but it's just one of those things where I'm just not necessarily sitting here saying yes, Giovanni at this point coming off that leg injury. And Burks, I just don't think they're going to beat anybody down the field. They can run, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see the separation right now. But again, on the back end of that is true, Jason. Mateer does have to, it's just incremental changes that we need. But this is another opportunity for OU to go out there and make people feel good. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys at the beginning. I feel good about the matchup, and I think that the offense could have a good day. It's just they have to actually commit to doing a couple of things. And I think you spread them out, you run the ball, and do what you need to do. And again, please just get first downs, have some long yards.
If you can get to 24, I feel like if you can get to 24, you don't lose any. And shout out to Monty Cisco. He was talking about that in the chat this morning.
Yeah.
I feel like you get to 24, you're probably not losing at this point. With your offense, I'm saying, and whatever you get after that from the defense is obviously gravy. But with the way that they're locking people up, I mean, basically, the only team that's gotten over the top of that was Tennessee, and obviously Ole Miss in the loss.
Yeah.
But the games that we've lost, if you're over, definitely anytime we hold somebody under 21, we've won, and that's been going back for decades now, apparently. But just looking at it like that, if you can find a way to get, I'm not talking about let's go out there and put 40 up or do the Lincoln Riley, 35 or anything like that. I don't think that that's a possibility at this point. Stop acting like it is, but go out there and make sure that the chains keep moving. Doing those kind of things. And that way that you are supporting that defense in that way. And that's the main thing I think everybody wants to see. The easiest way to do that is to commit to the run. And we've really not, it doesn't feel like we're committed to the run outside of John Mateer running the ball 15 times a game. And I don't love that necessarily, except for, I mean, if it's going to be what you have to do, you got to do it. But you're going to have to run the ball with your running backs as well. Obviously, health is an issue at this point. But again, I just want to see the chains move. Just move the chain.
Can I ask you guys just your opinion on one topic different than the offense?
Well, hold on. I got one last point I want to say. Jason, we said it this past summer, winter, spring, fall, every damn season. You just need 23 points. 23 points offensively get the job done for you. I truly.
That was before we realized just how good this defense is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So just
I think we were wondering if they were a top 10 team on defense. I don't think it's a question that they're top 2, 3.
It's not.
So guys, just to refresh just on one last topic, just to get you guys' opinion on it, because I've been going around with some other Sooner fan friends. To me, it looks like the secondary has made a big leap over the last 3-4 weeks. Would you kind of agree with that?
Say that again.
The secondary has upped their game. Coming out of Ole Miss, you're like, okay, kind of what's going on. But since that game, that we're starting to see that. I think we've all agreed that from the hop, our front seven looked pretty awesome.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. But the question was in the secondary, right?
Yeah, and we didn't take the transfer cornerback or safety, and we were a little bit like, well, was that a bad move whatsoever? Was that a good move? And it looks like, for the most part, that I've got some fans who are Jay Valai, who are prior Jay Valai haters, who are lately been saying, well, that Valai guy's not so bad after all. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So you guys would.
Alabama before anyway, so yeah, come on, bro.
Well, but you know how our fan base can be about certain coaches and sometimes kind of getting agendas quickly. But to me, it just looks like that's the thing that even we've lost RMT, but somehow the secondary playing better. And to be honest, Jaden Jackson is just kind of gutting it out there. We're not. This isn't the guy.
He's been hurt. He's been hurt all season. It feels like, and he's been finding a way to stay on the field. At least
since Texas, he's been banged up. I mean, he's not the guy we saw against Michigan. But that overall, the defense somehow has found another gear, and the secondary is sort of like turbo boosting that.
Right. No, and I think just to go off of what you asked to start with, I think we were talking about it this morning with Boganowski. Just starting with Mike Jr. playing fantastic. Reggie Powers at that cheetah position, fantastic. It sucks that he's going to miss half of the game this week. But something about Jacoby Johnson. He's been playing more than people realize. You just haven't heard his name. Why is that? Because he's covering very well. And as you saw this week, he got his head around. That was textbook play right there.
A redemption moment, right? Like last year, he stumbled and fell on that Mizzou, right? And he could, and James and Burden took it in for it. Made that big catch, and if he hadn't stumbled, it's like a pick. So Jacoby gets the pick, right? And the game's over, and we wouldn't have had the. Well, let's not talk about the Missouri last year game anymore. But just the fact there's something like a nice redemption moment, like this is what happens when our coaching and our development processes work.
I think it's emblematic of what, but I think it's emblematic.
That's a great word.
Of what's going on with this secondary that you haven't, there was a lot of concern about it, and rightfully so. It was just unknown, with Gentry Williams and he's still, he's having some issues again with the injuries. Now Eli gets back into it, and he's been playing fucking fantastic, basically for this entire stretch down the backside of this schedule. I think it's emblematic that a guy like that you haven't talked about a whole lot with Jacoby. It's just always wondering, was he going to be that guy? Is he going to be that guy? He's been playing a lot more than people realize because you just haven't been calling his name, and that's because they're not throwing his way. That means he's doing his job. And this time they threw his way, and he picked it off. And that was his second one this season. I think it was second one this season.
I think he got one against one of our blowout games. He just got an easy pick. So. It just to me was like, I'm like, all of a sudden I was just, I've been so used to hearing some fans that I work with that, who I associate with. They're like, well, Valai's not really doing his job right. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, that Valai guy's doing a great. It's like, okay.
It's funny, people don't remember the shit that they say sometimes.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've been talking shit about him, and then they're like, man, that Valai guy's got the cornerbacks playing great. I'm like. Have you flipped there?
Look, Peyton Bowen is playing out of his mind too lately. And I don't think it always shows up on the stat sheet. He's always in the right place, making plays. Look at the block punt this past week. He almost had the pick six. I mean, he was right there. And just it would have definitely taken that to the house. I mean, he's been all over the place with his. And I think the thoughts of him coming into the year, turf toe, that's a concern all the time because it doesn't really go away. But he's been fantastic. He's definitely taken over that role. It feels like to me, left by Billy, last year, that kind of the leader on that, getting everybody where they need to be, and then along with his little brother. I mean, Eli's killing it, man. He's killing it. So and Cortland Guillory, I mean, you got to bring this kid up because as much as you talk about him a little bit, he gets beat here and there. He doesn't seem to get beat on the same type of shit every time, though. It's always going to be something new. Once he learns it, he learns it.
And he's been getting some. And Jacoby got
a first round pick waiting to happen, man. He is a stud.
Yeah. So I just think, because a lot of the things that have been annoying me has been sort of some of the Cover 3 podcast guys and some of the other guys, and they seem to think that OU's turnover creation is like somehow the turnover gods are just looking at OU, and I'm like,
No,
well,
it
our
was
secondary's playing.
rookie before that they weren't getting them. I felt like.
Yeah, it was just like our secondary's improved and we're getting more turnovers. Does no one seem to see you know, I know it's a chicken and egg argument, but a little bit, but it just seems to me that we're forcing more turnovers because our secondary's playing better, therefore they're getting more picks, and they're forcing, and quarterbacks don't know where to go, which means Taylor Wine's body slamming them to the ground and they're fumbling. So
And Grayson Halton too, by the way.
yeah,
James has got it. He's been playing his ass off.
yeah, and even and Dominic Williams is having his best couple of days. I mean, it just where I think UT's defense. We talked about that a little bit off camera. I think they're running out of gas, while you just see OU adding more and more guys to the mix.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was about to say. It's the amount of guys that know that defense now, and I still think there's levels to this. But I think that they've been able to expedite the progression, especially of like a Kendall Daniels, right? Because me and my uncle, we had this conversation. I was like, obviously you would love to have Dolby, but you say, does Kendall Daniels, you kind of feel like, yeah, Dolby can make more wow plays, I think, but at the same time, Kendall Daniels can make those same type of plays that he has. And he's been really good. Just the fact that he flips the script, because you no longer can sit there and say, yeah, we're going to catch them and then they're not going to be able to sub this and that. Because, I mean, look, I think all three of us still think the world of Deshaun McCullough, but it was clear last year whenever he would get lined up against a slot or some guy like that, he's looking back to help, like, what's going on, They would have
and they kept sticking him there where he would end up inevitably getting into coverage against a guy that he didn't need to be on, right?
Yeah, I think the two. I mean, we had a lot of discussions about what OU was getting in MJJ and Kendall Daniels back during the transfer portal period. We guys were talking about it. We were like, "There's a gamble."
They lived up to every expectation and more, man. No doubt.
But there's a gamble here, and the gamble was, well, can you get both of these guys to play with a high motor? And I think props to the guys themselves, props to the guys around them that they play with, because it's obvious that I think it's pretty obvious if you're next to Kobe McKenzie and you're kind of loafing, Kobe's gonna be like, there's a leader there. But also props to the coaches working with them to just be blunt with them, like, look, if you don't run hot, you're not going to play. Especially to Marvin Jones Jr. But I just think those guys. I mean, Marvin Jones Jr. played really well on Saturday as well. I mean, to be playing this level of defense without R. Mason Thomas's and really Jaden Jackson, it's silly, really. I mean, it's kind of shocking to be honest, that they've played this well without two of their elite pieces up front.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that, it's like I said. I was talking with Boganowski about it this morning, and they're just, and shout out to him, and Michael's been playing really good. I mean, he stepped up. He's doing well in coverage, and he's doing well coming up to stop the run. Even the quarterback run, spying on him a little bit, and we think about him being a big time hitter, but if you think about what you heard from Teddy last year about that, he was probably the best safety he's ever seen. And I mean, we're just talking about a guy that played with Roy. So there was something other than the hitting that was coming through to Teddy, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're starting to see that now that he's getting confident in what they're doing in the scheme. I think Power's dad has talked to us about it before on the show, about how it's a difficult defense to get a grasp on, no matter what position you play, right? It's a difficult defense to get a grasp on. So, you have to figure it out and all that kind of stuff, but and then you just kind of have to make strides to where they trust you, because that's when you start getting to where you get out there more and you get an opportunity to make more plays. I think that Powers and Boganowski have both done that, and it's been fun watching them do it. Really fun watching them do it. I think RSJ has continued to be one of the leaders back there as well, but Peyton Bowen, again, I think that he's been fantastic this year. And I think if without these guys doing what they're doing, I don't know that you're on this run.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about and then we could jump to some other stuff. But when you think about I'm the look ahead recruiting guy, so just bear with me. But when you think about our secondary that could return, I think you could possibly say OU has a top 3 secondary returning next year. That OU may have made that transition, right? With Eli, Cortland, or
and
Bowens, and the guys that Boganowski, if he replaces RSJ, which I think is a kind of a natural fit, and then we've got 3 guys who could be at the other cornerback slot. So it's
think about it. You've got Hawkins and Newcomb that
Haynes.
both have either one is really played.
And Haynes
too.
Yeah. And you go to Marion Robinson playing a lot. I mean, it's
Marion,
Brandon Hall. You just know that Boganowski and Powers are going to get better next year because Brandon Hall does that.
Don't forget about Hardy. I think Hardy.
Oh yeah, and Hardy as well.
People love to forget about Hardy, and I think Hardy's playing really good football.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the secondary mess we had before, and you just see what Hall.
Shout out to Boganowski. He's always shouting out Hardy, man. I should never forget him because Mike C was always shouting him out.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up because we've taken a lot of shots at the offense. Not that there's not room to take shots. I just wanted to talk about a position group that I felt like at the beginning of the year we all felt like we're not sure what this is, and they had a bad Ole Miss day, along with a lot of other folks. But then, sure Tennessee took their shots, but they took their pound of flesh from Tennessee too. And they did the same thing at Bama, right? They took their Bama got yards, but our secondary guys took their pounds of flesh as well. So
Peyton almost had a pick 6 there too.
Yeah,
Peyton almost had a pick 6 in that one as well.
So and then the Missouri game,
they locked them down. They didn't do anything. The whole second half, they did nothing.
I mean, and you've got a serious running game you have to factor in too. I mean, it's not like, it's not like it's again.
It's good that they're peaking when they are too. That they're coming together, playing as well as they are with these turnovers, especially now. Yeah. Because without it,
we've been in a different position. Yeah.
A lot of trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, because but I just think it's interesting that the front four has been kind of what we thought. I mean, I do think Stone has even played better than I thought he would be, and I think Wine's better than I think any of us could have imagined he's playing. We'll move to I'm jokingly throwing this out here, guys. I don't really mean this. I mean, we haven't had I miss Ethan Downs conversation like all year long, right?
Me and Kchris, we took arrows for the last couple of years because we kind of dogged him. And I've been apologizing to Ethan forever. I ain't apologizing for shit no more.
Jason, now you see what I was trying to say from the get-go, which is, hey, man, great dude, embodies the Sooner magic,
the run, all that other stuff too. Hey, I mean, he made plays, but he's not the same as these other guys.
No, and that's what I was trying to tell you. Is that like, hey, you have.
Why did I open this Pandora's box? I'm sorry.
No, it's not even a Pandora's box. Just being real. Like you got Taylor Wine, Marvis Jones Jr. You're starting to see, and I think Okoye is only going to get better with time.
That's a hockey stick progression we're going to see next year. Like it's not going to be like incremental. We're going to see a hockey stick vault in what he's doing.
Attaboy. I mean, guys are making plays on that other side, and it's beautiful to watch. So, all right, let's get to those predictions, y'all.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. All right, let me make sure that we're good here. Yep, we are. All right, guys. So obviously, looking at the game for this week, I think everybody's got I think myself, the only reason I'm picking Matera's leading rushers because he's going to get most carries. I think with the injuries that you got going on, I think it only stands to reason that he's going to run the most. I don't know how much that's going to be. Chances are you may have to win this in the passing game. So, leading receiver, we've all got Sategna. That's pretty much every week. Nobody thinks 300 yards. Were either you guys? Where are you guys thinking he's passing? Over 200.
200 at best.
200 at best.
I mean, over 200 at best. That would be a good sign.
Okay. Okay, Chris, your thoughts?
I think it's going to be kind of what he's been doing. I think it's going to be like maybe a 160. I would say somewhere between one. You know what? I'm gonna go 170 with 40 yards on the ground.
Okay.
All right.
170 with 40. All right. So 100-yard rusher, you've got us getting 100-yard rusher. So you think who's getting the 100 then? If you've got him at leading rusher and you've got him going 100.
Oh man, I messed that up, Jason. I meant to put yes on the 100-yard. I thought we'd be able to get probably.
You would think we have a 100-yard receiver,
Oh,
not rusher.
No. I'm sorry. Excuse me. This is me just being optimistic. If we have healthy running backs, because again, when I was watching that, I was like, if you just you make them miss on one tackle on an inside run, it's like Moses walking through the Red Sea. I mean, it just parts ways and just big holes, just gashed. They get gashed in the middle of their D line. How, I do not know, because they got some big bodies there. But if they get pushed out the way, it's just like the floodgates open, because they're often blitzing from that outside linebacker on the edge, and then it's just lanes open up. So I just was thinking like, hey, maybe we're healthy this week enough to run a little bit with our running back. So I was thinking maybe one of those guys.
Torrey not really running the ball last week. Maybe he did get healthy. He didn't take any hits.
No. Yeah.
I only saw him in the game once.
Yeah.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play much at all.
Yeah. So maybe he's back and ready. And I mean, look, here's the thing about Blaylock. This is a guy that you give him just a little bit of space, he can go. Yeah. His touchdowns, if you think about his touchdown runs, most of them have been from 20 yards or so.
Yeah.
He hits that corner and nobody's there, he's out. You're not going to catch him. So I think, hopefully, that's obviously wishful thinking, but it just got to find a way to get it done this week. I don't know that they ended up with a 100-yard rusher. I do think they get a 100-yard receiver. I think Sategna does that. And maybe it's close to 300 yards, or I would say 200. I don't even know why we're still on the 300-yard thing with this team. I think 250 would be a great number. If he could hit that number even, or 225, 250, that's a great day with the way that this defense is going. And that's more along the lines of you getting to that 24-point mark we were talking about. But a special teams touchdown, I think we're all on no, but would it really surprise you if Isaiah took one back?
You know what wouldn't surprise me with how quit ready LSU is, and how fundamentally unsound they are. A block punt wouldn't surprise me. No. Block punt return for a touchdown. I mean, that wouldn't shock me at all. We're getting our hands on kick. We're getting close to kicks, so that wouldn't shock me. But Sategna's close. You're definitely right on that.
He's been close on it a few times, so I thought he was going to get that one against Alabama. I mean, it looked like he was gone, but they have a pretty good special teams as well. So I don't know. Let's see. Oh, so does OU score a defensive touchdown? Okay, Chris, you've got yes.
Yes.
Who you got doing it?
Or
what are you seeing here? What are you expecting here?
What I'm expecting is either it's going to be Taylor Wan off the edge, or it's going to be one of our linebackers that creates a fumble. I just think that the pressure And he's a guy that when his eyes are down the field, when he's looking for a guy to come open down the field, yes, he can make the play, but he also holds the ball a little bit too long. And I saw him do that even on really a bootleg, to where basically that backside DN came. He made a nice move, came around that edge, he bent, got around that corner, and then boom, popped him. So I just think that it's either going to be one of our linebackers or probably Wine on that back end that ends up getting to him, forces that fumble. And I think that we'll be able to advance the ball with that for the touchdown. I again, just watching the film, I was just like, yes, a lot of the things. I have nothing but respect for Michael Van Buren. I think that guy gets overlooked. He's going to put up numbers next year. He's going to be similar to what you're seeing with Chambliss, but present day right now, there's just some inefficiencies there, and it's not necessarily him. It's that offensive line that worries me.
Right.
Well, excites you, right?
Excites me,
yeah.
No doubt. Me too. And I feel like I could see. I mean, I've got Kip Lewis being the defensive MVP. I think he's going to get. We haven't seen him get a Kip 6 this year, and I think it's been close a few times. And what we are seeing is week after week after week, this dude makes play after play after play. I love me some Kip Lewis. Love me some Kip Lewis, man. I hope he stays another year. Excited about his future. I think another year wouldn't hurt him at Oklahoma in the draft. I think it would help him more than anything. But I mean, you never know. If it depends on the grade that comes back, I think. But the guy's a special player, man. I love watching him. I can see him getting either a scoop and score or maybe an interception off him. And you know what Kchris is just saying with Taylor Wine busting through and maybe getting that strip sack or something like that. I can see him scooping it and getting the hell out of there.
Or he hits Van Buren and kind of flutters into the linebacker coverage area, and Kip gets it and runs it back, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. He's definitely going to be around the ball. We always know that. Kip's going to be around the ball. He's Wine's going to be around in the backfield around the football. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Does OU hold LSU under 300? We've all saying yes on this. I think that's not a huge stretch to expect. They have not run the football worth of shit all year. They haven't thrown the football very well either. This isn't the time for them to get healthy doing that. They are talented in a lot of places, but this is a problem for them, especially with that offensive line not really getting much push and the best defensive line in the country lined up on top of them. So I think they're in trouble. Defensive MVP again. I said I've got Kip Lewis. Is that who you had as well, Mr. Mason, or did I?
No. You're right. I'm with you. He's playing so well. He's playing at such a high level. He's always around the football. A running back fumble, country city fumble, run back for a touchdown. Van Buren pressured at levels he hasn't seen, misses Kip in coverage and just throws him the ball like the Alabama game. Right? He doesn't just. Linebackers get lost in coverage, especially with Brent's throwing at guys. I think that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Okay. Obviously, I get why Taylor Wine. He's been certainly since R. Mason went out. He's been probably the MVP of that D line. Just making play after play after play. He's always there. He's turning into kind of like a Boss to me. I'm thinking of him like how Boss was just dominating the game back in the day. He's doing the number. He's doing the number well.
I mean, he should be all SEC first team defensive end, and considering the talent in conference of that position, that's an amazing statement.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you on this, Sooner Cowboys. Finish them off. Don't let them score. Yeah, I think you need to get on them first early. Don't give them a reason to get into feeling good about themselves for sure. Offensive MVP, I've got Satangna. I could see him, maybe being that kick returner guy. I could see him also. I expect him to be the leading receiver, just like you guys do. But I think that there's a couple of different places that he could affect the game. You guys both put Mateer, so I figured I'd go the other way with it. But it'd be great if Mateer played well enough to be an actual MVP. I'd love that.
Yeah. We'd all like to see a positive sign there.
Yeah. Final score. You guys are all seeing ours up there. Let me go here. Let's see. 24-14 Sooner, says Scott Walker. T Boomer says 31-7 OU. Sooner Cowboy says 27-0 Oklahoma. 24-13 says Satterfield. 31-10 Lone Wolf. Let's see. 21-24 Sooners. Liberty Bearberty says you always got to put the winning score first there, bro. Always got to put the winning score first. Josie 2010. Yeah, and that's where I was somewhere between like 23-6, 23-10, maybe something like that. I don't really see them giving up a touchdown here, though. I think a couple of field goals, maybe. They might give up a touchdown, but you can see. OU gets 2 defensive TDs. 28-6. I think that's more in line with where we kind of are here. 27-0. Let's see. 7-3 says Oklahoma or die. Wow, 7-3.
Hope that's
so,
not
yeah,
that.
okay.
Hope that's not right.
I hope not too, man. That would not make anybody. Everybody would be really fucking mad.
That's a lot of heartburn. We just
that's
don't
gonna
need.
be a shitty. That's gonna be that after game. We may have to wait till Sunday for the post game. 23-6 is what I got. Kchris has 20-6, and you've got 16-3. None of us have them.
I honestly think a shutout's very possible.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me.
With their quit level, their O-line suck level, and the level we're playing at defense, I think a shutout is entirely possible. I only went with 16 because I've just been lowballing our offense, hoping they'll take it on offense and score more points. I think you're probably closer at 23-6.
Yeah, I see Jenna James comes in with 31-6 on the back of it. I think, that'd be cool, man. I'd love to see it. And if you get a couple of defensive touchdowns, I could see that happening too.
Or even just some of those demoralizing. You remember the Seneca Wallace game?
Yeah.
Where we just sort of the defense just demoralized them, and we just got short fields and fumbles and interceptions, and it was just sort of so demoralizing that I could see something. I mean, Van Buren's a really good young quarterback, but he just doesn't. I just don't think he's got any help, and it's the quit factor in LSU that I think is hard to predict which way it goes.
Hard to predict. And the thing is that they have a lot of respect and love for Frank Wilson, and they're going to play for him at least for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while.
But once you get hit, you see what happens, and I think it's a tough situation for him. But I think I don't. Listen, this is a proud program, and if they do come in and Lane Kiffin has decided that he's going to be their head coach, shit. You might get, a rejuvenated group of guys come out there.
It could be a distraction as well, though, Jason.
It could be that too.
Whereas I think we knew what we were getting from Mizzou in terms of motivation and coaching, right? Sure. I think this the myriad of results we could get from LSU is vast, right? It could be. Right. They could come in really demoralized and not really ready.
Well, and here's what I want to add to that. I don't want to make it as much about LSU as I want to make it about this football team here too. Is that they had the way that they felt about Mizzou last week. They didn't put up the numbers we would like to see put up scoreboard wise, but they suffocated that team, and they let them know under no uncertain circumstances you ain't shit. And the fact is that they remember what happened in the, at Death Valley last year. It feels to me like they come in and I felt the same way about the Tennessee game, that they wanted to make a statement about getting beat last year at home and kick their ass in their place. I think that this is one of them games that I don't see Oklahoma letting up on them, because I think they want to put their foot on somebody's neck, especially games that they've lost in the past.
There's a little redemption revenge for OU here, right? I mean, they took care of the terrible South Carolina game, right? The terrible Tennessee game. And I guess if you wanted to rank of the mess and the terrible Mizzou game, they've now, revenged that. LSU's the last team really that's on that list, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, you've never beaten LSU. That's something that people talk about every time we start talking about LSU. Somebody in the chat says it every time. It never fails. So, if you're Oklahoma, you'd like to stop hearing that. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
You know,
we just have so much more to play for than LSU. I think on some level, at home with a rocking crowd. That's it's going to be. This is the biggest home game result. Result of it since I don't know. I mean, was there a Lincoln home game that had this kind of feeling? I can't come up with one. TCU in 2015, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Sort of, but they
like the Kansas State losses that he had. You would bounce back and get a win the next year, but he had issues with K-State, man, and they weren't good at that time either.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the crowd and everything. I mean, this is set up for a big celebratory home game, and I don't think we've really had an end of season celebratory home game like that in a while. Am I right? Does that sound right to you?
I mean, the last playoff appearance was in 2019.
Yeah, and 2020 during COVID there was no fans and it was weird, and then 2021 that season is forever marred by Lincoln not coaching a game plan and Stillwater. 2022 I don't think we had a big home game to end things. Right? We were on the road in Lubbock in a rainstorm. Is that right?
Yeah.
No.
And a missed field goal that looked like it was good to me.
But I'm just saying that this is a chance for us to sort of have like a home game capstone we haven't had in a while. And I think Brent's going to let that known. He's obviously got the pulse of the team going right now. I mean, this is his best coaching job of the last 3 games have made me relatively boosted my confidence that he can coach us. He can coach us where we need to go.
Sure. No, I think that. Yeah, and this is kind of a culmination of the 4 years here. To get back to the playoff, if you're Brent Venables, I mean, he started the year on the hot seat.
We talked about it left and right.
That's all we talked about. What's it going to take to keep your job? Shit. We were talking about that after they lost their first game. Is he going to be able to hold on to his job? I heard people throughout the national media, do they end up 6-6? Yeah, what the fuck? They started out 5-1, and you want to ask if they're going to go 6-6? And to be honest with you, there were people in the fan base that were saying the same shit.
Oh, I talked to them. I talked to those people. So,
I know we all have Sooner Cowboys. But
yeah. So I just think OU has and Brent has just a little more has the edge and the pulse of his team more than Wilson walking in when he doesn't know he could end up with 3 or 4. I have a sprained ankle today. Injury report, guys. Easy. He could honestly lose some guys who are just like, yeah, I'm just kind of bagging it. This, I played in my senior game at home. We won.
Step on their neck.
Yeah.
Step on their neck. Figure it out. Step on their neck. Let's go.
You want to do our bookie picks?
Yeah, my bookie picks coming up. And James Thrice, right now, obviously we'll know a little more when we get the playoff rankings tomorrow night. But I don't see how they would. They're behind them right now. They played Syracuse last week. And who are they playing? It's a bad team again this week. If
Stanford, I think it is.
Yeah, listen, they should win that game easily.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma should win this game too. And if it's certainly, even though LSU hadn't been good, this is finishing off the season. I know that they're gonna end up with a 10-game win streak if they win this week as well. But Oklahoma's gonna have a 5-game win streak coming, or a 4-game winning streak down the stretch, having played one of the best schedules in the country. There's no way that you could justify it. And I don't even know that Coach would even try to say otherwise. I really don't think that he would, to be quite honest with you. But LSU is at least talented. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't expect this though. I don't know why you expect that, James. I don't know why. Anyway, moving on to the pick 5. Listen, it's been a cool year of the pick 5. We kind of got it started and everything, but my bookies pick 5 selections. We appreciate everybody coming along with us, and make sure that you jump out there. Look, there's still a lot of football to be played, both in the NFL and college football. You should be using your welcome bonus by jumping on hofmedia.us/mybookie1000 and getting that deposit bonus. All right, last week, Mr. Mason finished off the year. He finished us off. There's no way we could have caught him. Yay for him. 2-3 last week, but he is the 2025 Pick 5 champion. Congratulations to Mr. Mason for, finishing off.
Next year, we're just going to pick outright instead of playing the numbers. That's what we'll do.
No, we're not.
That's what we'll do, Chris Mason.
You gotta go against the damn.
That's what we'll do, Chris Mason.
Okay.
All right. This week, the regular season finale, LSU at Oklahoma. We all got the Sooners going. And I mean, is there any surprise that we're all picking Aggie at that other one? Fuck Texas. So I was surprised that none of us picked Ohio State, though. You think that's too much spread, Kchris?
No, I think the weather's the issue.
So it is too much spread.
Yeah. It's
I got Michigan going ahead and doing that thing for the
5 straight.
5 straight, baby.
I kind of think so too, man. I've been thinking that too. I was talking to the Maze Madman. He's been on the show with me, and I've been on his show. And the Ohio State fans are awfully fucking sure of themselves.
Is Marshall healthy? Is Marshall healthy for the game?
I don't know.
I mean, because they're down. If they had Justice Haynes, I'd feel a lot more comfortable calling for a Michigan win. But
fair enough.
They're banged up at running back. They were playing some kid with a Serbian last name the last time I saw Michigan. I was like, who the hell is that kid?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't know if I'm picking. Then I don't know if I expect a 5th straight. But you know what? I didn't expect a 4th straight either. So
yeah,
you know what?
Yeah, it's in the big house. It's at 9.5 points in the big house is a lot of money, especially since they could have a blizzard very easily during that game. We lose Jason?
For the moment.
All right. Well, we'll handle this. So this is the only difference we really have. Chris, on the Vandy Tennessee game, I'm going off your former analysis, which says that Vandy doesn't have a pass rush.
Yeah.
And I don't see their secondary holding up against the Tennessee 3 wide receivers.
It's at Tennessee as well, and that changes things for me.
Okay.
I just don't. Yeah, I think it's going to take points this game, and I think that if anything, Tennessee comes out there kind of like Texas did that game and light them up early.
I mean, and Brazel, is it Brazel, Staley, and who's the other guy? I should remember his name. He's a big recruit. That threesome, I think, is a lot of problems is a big problem for Vandy.
Yeah.
And I like what Pavia, and I love the story, but I don't think they have the pass rush to get after Aguilar the way you need to beat Tennessee.
I agree.
Especially at home. So Chris, do you think any drama on the Plains?
No.
Auburn, Alabama? They're starting the McKnight kid. I just think versus Ty Simpson, that's a massive mismatch. I know they don't play against each other technically, but the QB edge is pretty severe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up some yards, did some really good things, got people excited around the Auburn fan base. But and I'll be honest with you, that DJ Durkin defense is going to cause problems. But I see Bama winning this something like 27-3, 27-10, something like that. Something very modest, but they get it done, head to the playoffs.
There's lots of folks picking an Auburn upset. I'm like, I just don't know where that's coming from.
I don't either. Jason, you there? You got something to say about that?
think we're close to getting it back. I mean, nothing from I've seen of Auburn this year tells me that they're just going to rise up and beat Bama. But I know that rivalry has some weirdness to it and all that. But still, I just don't. That nothing about the Auburn team this year says clutch win at the end of the season. But I guess we'll see. That's the Saturday night game, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it could be a real dog of a Saturday night game. I think the best game of the week of this lineup is going to be Ohio State, Michigan. I think that's going to be the best game. That could be. I think that's the one where I see the most drama coming out of it.
All right. Well,
I think Jason, are you back with us? We kind of lost you. We kind of be interested to hear why you think Vandy would beat Tennessee, but because at 2.5 points, that's pretty much a win for Vandy. That's obviously a Vandy win on some level, unless it's a 1 point game. All right, well, Jason, I think we're going to call it a night. It's 1 hour 20. Diego is the reason why you think they're going to win. All right, that's as good a reason as any. He's on a little bit of a heater, so I can see that. I'd like that to be a great game. I'd like any of these to be a great game to watch, other than the OU LSU game, which of course I just want to be a ridiculous OU rout. So, but I'd love any of these games to be really competitive. So, but I think Ohio State, Michigan's the one. The weather forecast doesn't scream a high flying offense really having a great chance of getting stuff going.
That's going to make it interesting.
Yep. So,
all right, people,
we're out. We will be back. We will be back sometime Sunday with an LSU game recap, and then we will also be back on Wednesday with a signing day preview. Hey, Jason's back.
Oh.
I don't know why the hell that just happened, but somehow my laptop was.
All right. So any of those?
My laptop was.
So we were just saying we think Michigan, Ohio State might be in a snowstorm. Do you think that raises the chance of a Michigan upset?
Yeah, listen, I mean, anything could happen in this game anyway. And so, yeah, the snowstorm, I think. And then as far as that, you said Vandy. Why can Vandy win? Because of Diego Pavia, dude. He's a badass dude. That's why. And they haven't. Look, it's a slight chance of getting to the playoff. And I can't believe you didn't put the fucking Egg Bowl in here. By the way, I meant to say
it was like one of the.
If the Egg Bowl goes off and Mississippi State wins that game, Vandy gets in.
Maybe
it's gonna happen because they haven't played a good schedule at Ole Miss. You can't lose that game. Mississippi State, and then Lane's going to leave. I think that could have a big part of that as well. I think they're fucked. If I'm telling you, I think they're fucked.
Apparently, there's some uproar among the team about what's going on. That Ole Miss may not be walking in the right mental state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a possibility. It would be.
I mean, would it surprise you? No. And again, another one of these rivalry games that. It rarely does it have anything to do with the best team.
Yeah, there could be some goofy. It's in Starkville. They do have some. They've got some playmakers and Craver and is it Smith? That's not right. The guy from Georgia, is it Jonathan Smith? No, that's not right. They got the guy from us, the Brendan Thompson.
Yeah.
I got Brendan Thompson, the guy from UGA, Jonathan something.
San Antonio, the San Antonio kid that went to Georgia that was committed to OU.
Yeah. Jonathan, something like that.
Shit.
Yeah, but they got some playmakers. They certainly and Chapin's done as well as better than I thought he was going to do. So.
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up seeing the freshman play a little bit if it gets to where they're behind, and he's a stud. The freshman quarterback at Mississippi State is a bad dude, bro. So, all right, man. Anything else, Kchris?
No, that's it, man.
All right, guys. You guys all have a great Thanksgiving. And we'll be back
Absolutely.
we'll be back probably Sunday with an LSU recap. What's gone on in college football kind of recap. Where do we think things are going for championship week? So, all right,
Sounds
guys.
good. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Go too.